Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the men of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the sincere Akim out there pushing this truth in the four corners of the earth. I want to get in on a current event that just happened here in Atlanta a couple nights ago. There was a Jake. He was gunned down in the streets of Atlanta after a tussle with a police officer, with a couple police officers. And apparently he got away from them and took out running. And one of the police officers went after him, and he turned around. He happened to grab one of the police officers' tasers, and so he was running with the taser, being chased by the police officer, and he turned around and pointed the taser at the police officer, and the police officer shot him in the back 2 times and killed him. Let's see if we got some of that dreadful scene.
And then at some point, Brooks got into a scuffle with officers, and the 3 men wrestled on the ground. Brooks got up. Holding an officer's stun gun, he began to run away. And you can see the surveillance video, though, shows him turning towards an officer as he runs away and pointing that taser. And that's when you see an officer fire multiple, we now know 2 shots, killing Brooks.
The man who shot and killed Brooks is now unemployed. APD fired Garrett Rolfe, a nearly 7-year veteran. The other officer involved, Devin Bronsnet, is on desk duty.
And so there you go. Yeah, another Jake gunned down in the streets, and there was some riots. They had actually the rioters or the protesters were on the highway, blocking the highway, and traffic couldn't get through. And it was it was interesting because there was a lot of in these protesting scenes, there's a lot of people that look like Edomites in those crowds, and it's just a big, diverse crowd. But let's get into a couple of these scriptures. Romans 13:1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of the Most High. The powers that be are ordained of the Most High. So that's right. There's no power that isn't set up right now that the Lord hasn't put there. So, verse 2, whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of the Most High. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to evil. Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. So we're subject to these powers that are in place right now. We may not like them, but we are subject to them. Um, they're put there for a reason by the Lord. You know, we know that we're in our we're in our captivity right now, and we're subject to the curses, as in Deuteronomy 28. So to take it upon yourself to try to free yourself or run away from any kind of I would say any kind of just judgment in this captivity that we're in would be a step in the wrong direction. Um, just so we're subject to these powers. Um, Next precept, Matthews 5 and 25. Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. So, a lot of our people, they get cast into prison because, they do too much talking, really, and they do a lot of resisting. And we saw in this video that this Jake did the same. He did a lot of resisting, ran away, and he actually pointed a weapon at one of the officers. And not to say that he was justified in being killed, but that can happen if you don't agree with thine adversary quickly. This is Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So yeah, right now, Esau is in rulership. Esau being the so-called white man, he's in rulership right now, and the wicked elite, the top elite, they're in rulership. They practically rule the world, and so we see right now that a lot of the people are mourning. They're in mourning right now. They're protesting. They're rising up, burning places, looting. There's a lot of turmoil going on right now in the earth, and especially in Babylon, which is America, Babylon the Great, according to the 17th chapter of Revelations. So, being that the wicked are in rulership, we got to understand that we're gonna be under a great deal of stress and turmoil, which we have been. The so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, which are the Israelites, we've been under a whole lot of turmoil, and we've mourned a whole a whole a whole heck of a lot under this rulership. Whether or not people recognize it, recognize it, it's just true. If you're if you have any memory, or if you hold on to any kind of memories of this of this of this wicked dominion, you don't have to reference too many incidences to prove that. I mean, every day, all you got to do is just turn on the news. So this is Job 4 and 7. This is the book of Job, chapter 4 and verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? And so, yeah, whoever perished being innocent. A lot of these Jake that are being put to death, or all of them, are receiving judgment. They're receiving their judgment that the Lord has given them. That is what we're watching, a judgment being played out. To a man in this place. Even this verse 8, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. So you reap what you sow. If you sow wickedness, it's going to come back to you. As they say in the world, what goes around comes around. So with that, I hope you were edified. I want to give all glory, honor, and praise once again to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Shalom.